Dark, slow music fades in. Sound of wind or creaking house in the background. Imagine walking into your father's home, and the first thing you smell is death. Not just the stench of rot, but betrayal. 30 years old and still festering. That's where my revenge began. And trust me, by the end of this story, the people who abandoned me would lose everything they ever cared about. Brief music swell, then softer under narration. If you've ever been betrayed by someone who was supposed to love you, if you've ever dreamed of karma finally catching up to those who wronged you, hit that like button, subscribe, and get ready, because this is one of the most cold-blooded yet satisfying revenge stories you'll ever hear. Music dims, reflective tone. I was barely a teenager in 1990 when my father replaced his family with a woman he met at the gas station. She became shanty wife, and we were nothing but old baggage he tossed aside. He left my sister and me in a dark, musty basement apartment, only showing up every other week to hand me $40 for groceries. $40. One day, she called me herself, this woman who had stolen my father, and said words that carved into me like a knife. Your dad's brain tumor is back, and he can't handle the stress of being around you anymore. The only people he can stand are me and my son Shorty. I remember holding that phone, my throat tight, my face burning. I called my dad, praying it wasn't true. He just said, "I don't know why she would say that." That was one of our last conversations. Soft, reflective music under. I grew up alone. Lived out of my car sometimes. Fought through college on my own. Meanwhile, Dad played happy family with Shorty, his new real son.
When my grandmother died, I watched Shorty and Shanty Wife clean out the house like vultures, loading trucks with everything that wasn't nailed down. I went no contact for decades. I built a life, a family, a career. The pain dulled, but it never went away. Then 2 years ago, I got a call from my uncle. "Your dad's in a nursing home. He needs help." Shorty, the golden boy, had vanished. My father was alone, abandoned. The nursing home was 20 minutes from me. When I walked in, I didn't feel love. I felt curiosity, and maybe a spark of something darker. He told me his sad little story. Shanty Wife had died of lung cancer. Shorty had been living in his house, draining his accounts, and now he was gone. Then he asked me, as if the last 30 years had never happened, "Can you drive to my house and check on things for me?" That's when my cold smile formed. "I'll help, but you sign everything over to me. Power of attorney, medical and financial, or you're on your own." He signed. That was his last act of control. From here on out, I was in charge. When I arrived, I didn't find a home. I found the physical embodiment of 30 years of neglect and betrayal. The grass swallowed the porch, trucks rusted in the yard full of trash, notices of condemnation plastered the doors. Through the windows, I saw the inside, hoarded to the ceiling. The smell of rot seeped through the glass. I felt it in my gut. This is my battlefield. This is where it ends. The next day I returned with photos, showed them to my father. He cursed Shorty, but then he asked me for help again. That's when I said, I'll help, but you sign everything over to me. Step 1, cut Shorty out completely. I revoked his power of attorney, changed all bank accounts, forwarded all mail, pulled every transaction for the last 13 months.
And there it was, $130,000 in cash withdrawals. Every single penny gone. I called a locksmith and entered the house. The stench hit like a physical slap. Rotting trash, rat nests, and, under some pizza boxes in the bedroom, my father's mummified dog. I paid $7,000 for a biohazard crew to shovel the filth out, and I sent my father 8x10 photos of his dead dog from every angle. Then the courthouse, the restraining order, the police, the case file. By the time I was done, I had built a paper fortress of destruction around Shorty. While Shorty's life crumbled. His trucks towed, his free house sold, his credit destroyed, his dad mine now. I also found out about my dad's life insurance and reassigned the beneficiaries, my sister and me, irrevocably. My father thought he still owned a house, thought he'd be buried next to his beloved shanty wife. Instead, I had him buried in a national cemetery he hated, in a purple urn, his least favorite color. No funeral, no visitors. Shorty, arrested for felony elder abuse, facing 10 years. He lost his kids, his dad, his home, his entire life. And me, I sleep like a baby. For 30 years, I carried the weight of abandonment, of being told I didn't matter. And in just a few months, I took everything back. Shorty sits in jail. My father died alone, thinking he was still in control, buried far from the woman he chose over me. Sometimes revenge doesn't come in an explosion. Sometimes it comes in a slow, cold wave that wipes out everything they ever loved. And after 30 years of silence, I finally feel free.